Hey, how you doing? About the same year. Last year I was in Vegas. I'm back in Vegas this year. Wanted to take a couple of minutes to address the particular topic that's all relevant to all business owners, everybody in the group. Thank you for coming through. I'm looking forward to doing more things this year. The topic that I wanted to touch upon this afternoon is, what's the mindset? What's the number one mindset that we need? What's the best possible mindset that we can implement in order to reach all our goals? So I remember January I focused. We did a couple of meetups on setting goals. The reality is people set goals in different ways. Some people set very realistic goals. They set goals based on what they know they can do. Some people set outrageous goals. I take the example of Grant Cardone with his book 10X. You should read it. If you haven't read it yet, you should definitely read it. Grant Cardone, 10X. And basically the philosophy behind his book is, you should set outrageous goals, 10 times what you need to reach. And that's basically going to force you to put in the amount of activity, the amount of work, and the amount of perspective, to reach a very high goal. And most of the time we fall short. So if you set a goal of, let's say, $1 million, even if you suck, even if you're terrible at it, you might reach, let's say, 10%. 20% of it, and you're still in a good position. There are other people that set goals on a very short time frame. I read this book called The 12-Week Year, which basically teaches us to set goals based on a quarter. So 12 months is too much. They basically set goals based on 12 weeks. It creates the urgency. You make a goal, you set it for 12 weeks, you break it down on what needs to be done. It keeps you accountable. But the reality of it is it creates the sense of urgency. So everybody sets goals in different ways. Some people set realistic goals. Some people set outrageous goals and just go crazy with a massive action plan. Some people set very long-term goals and they never take a look at the short-term. And some people set very short-term goals. Other people get on and they literally make a to-do list, for every single day. I set long-term, short-term goals. I have to-do lists. I basically have listened to the different philosophies. I've read different books. So I do whatever works, whatever keeps me focused. But that's not the particular point that I wanted to make today. Out of all these things, if we all have different ways of setting goals, there's still a mindset that's needed. People get up in the morning, they go work out. People get up, they meditate. People get up, they get right to work. Some people wake up late, whatever. So what's the mindset? What's the right way to do it? And what I wanted to share with you today is I read this book called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth from John Maxwell. And the premise of this book is that if you focus on growth, then you'll reach all your goals. If you focus on growth, you'll reach all your goals. So what I wanted to say today, it doesn't really matter how much money you got right now. It doesn't really matter how many people know you. It doesn't really matter how new you are in your business. It doesn't really matter how much you know. It doesn't really matter how much you've messed up, regardless of the situation, regardless of the condition that a particular part of your life is. And I'm not just talking about business. Some people are great in business. They mess up at home. Some people are great at home. They're just starting a new business. There's all sorts of different situations, all sorts of different areas of your life where this can be applied. But basically, when I was writing this morning, I started, how you write goals and you say, I will accomplish X, Y, Z. I just started doing it differently. And in reality, when you take a look at every single phase in your life, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, whether it is in the gym, nutrition, losing weight, with friends, social, networking, whatever it is, corporate, in school, in every single area of your life, you can improve. And that's the premise. That's the reality of it. You can improve every single area of your life. The reason why sometimes we start to stagnate or paralyze, we stop making progress, somewhere in our minds, we start to believe that we can't improve. We start to believe that whatever it is, that's what it is. I was born like this. Some people's better. Some other people are better than me. Sorry about that. I'm just like fumble, a little tired. But others are better than me in this area. Even I heard some coaches teaching people and saying, well, if you're really good in an area, you should only focus on this area and forget about your weaknesses. Let your weaknesses be and let your strengths pull you up. We've heard it all. But what I wanted to say is, in all honesty, when you really take a look at all areas of your life right now, all of them can be improved. Right now, it's about 4 o'clock over here in Vegas. It should be somewhere around 7 o'clock over there on the East Coast. And I'm telling you this, if you disagree, please post a comment. Is there an area in your life that cannot be improved? Health, work, business, social, networking, families, whatever it is, every single area can be improved. So I wanted to challenge, I wanted to recommend everybody, when you set your goals, when you sit down tonight and you set your long-term goals, and when you sit down, you set your short-term goals, it's good to talk about a particular amount of money that you want. You set SMART goals, but I want you to write a list of 10 things that you can actually improve. 10 things that you will track and improve. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how tedious it is. I'll do it for myself because it's just the truth. I had so much power in tracking when I started tracking my nutrition, started tracking my macronutrients. So the quick story is I've been trying to lose weight for a long time. I was like 287, almost 290 pounds. This is too much. My insurance is costing me more. Everything is just costing me. I'm tired. I'm falling asleep. So I started on a journey to lose weight. And I worked out for a year. I would for years, but basically, at one point I was jogging, doing intervals, 5 miles, 5 days a week. I'll be tired. I'd walk into work tired, falling asleep. And when I would look at my weight, that's the only thing I would track. I would look at my weight and I wouldn't lose anything. I shared that inside of an email. If you're on the email list for the business meetup, you should get the testimony. But let me put it like this. For years, I worked out like crazy, and I would not be able to lose weight. There was too many things that I didn't know, too many things that I wasn't paying attention, and that's my point. There's a lot of things that you're not tracking, a lot of things that you're not paying attention to. So I was working very hard, lifting a lot of weights, but I wasn't really paying attention to what I was eating. So I started reading about different ways to eat. I started reading about different ways to work out, and I started to track everything. I learned that, if you really want to burn fat, you really want to start to look better as a man, you have to build muscle. You have to not just build bulky muscle, but you have to actually track if you're getting stronger and stronger on a particular key lift or on a particular key measurement. So I started tracking that. Am I getting stronger in my dips? Am I getting stronger in my bench press, incline bench press? So started tracking that. Also started tracking the amount of calories that I eat. You just start to learn who you are, how many calories you have to eat, when are you hungry. I started tracking how long can I fast in the morning. I started tracking macronutrients, reducing carbs, and increasing protein and fats, learning where the food is. And all that to say is, when I really started tracking, when I really said I want to improve on these measures because I'm reading about it, I'm realizing I'm not doing it the right way. When I really started tracking, I got results. I would never, ever go under 270. And for the first time, I went under 270, and I literally kept it off. Now it's been, I would say, at least 4 weeks that I've been able to keep my weight under 270. I'm still shooting for 250. So it seemed impossible when I was very tired. It seemed very impossible for me to lose weight. Looks like it was a waste of time. I tried different programs, but when I started paying attention to what needs to be improved, when I started reading about nutrition, reading about workouts, and actually starting to track my strength, starting to track what I eat, tracking all these things, I realized, hey, I can improve. I don't have to be depressed or overwhelmed or focused or basically being, I'm forgetting what the word is, Grant Cardone uses this word, don't have to be obsessed about it. You just have to know, you just have to track and just focus on improving. It's the same thing at work, social media. You try to focus on how can you improve your reach, how can you improve the amount of, how can you improve your, how do you call it now? I'm starting to run out of words, so I'll keep this short, 30 seconds and I'm out. How can you improve your following? How can you improve your engagement? So Bottom line, you sit down, you write some goals, long-term goals, you write some short-term goals, but also I want you to write 10 things, and maybe your list will become better, but write 10 things that you need to improve in order to reach these goals, in order to reach these high goals. You'll realize everything can be improved. It's all going to be okay. You take it in. I hope to see you soon.